Welcome to 5 Star Weekly. This has got to be rock bottom, right? Right? It's nowhere but up this weekend. However, it's our toughest test yet. We're getting all that and more coming up. Before we get into it, become part of the notification squad by hitting the bell next to the subscribe button on YouTube. Welcome to the show, 5 Star Fam. I'm AJ, and this is Michael. And unfortunately, Atl United lost 3-0 to the Disney Kitties this past weekend. And we will have the review for you shortly, but yeah, we won't linger on it. It obviously very painful, and yeah, we just won't dwell on those feelings too much. But let's give some major shouts out to our loyal Patreon fam first, and most notably Gavin, Jordan, Niall, Andrew, Chris, Nick, and Jeff. You guys, thank you so much as always. But let's get into the match review, and yes, it is brought to you by Rowdy Peach IPA by Sweetwater Brewery, the official craft beer of Atl United Fan TV. But, yep, our first trip to Florida this season, and yikes, that was embarrassing beyond belief. And yeah, we went in depth on it on the post-match live fan reactions, but man, yeah, I think really the less said about this game the better. But I mean, we're masochists, I guess, so let's get into it. Yep, dropping 3 to your rivals in a rivalry game, in a derby, you cannot do that, especially if the week prior you also lost 3-0. And some people are saying, they think Philly's a bigger rival to us than Orlando City. Either way, people dislike Orlando City, people dislike Philly, and you cannot lose 3-0 to those teams. And still expect that the fans are gonna have goodwill. Like, I'm not at all saying that fans are going to turn on the team, but yeah, at the very least, it's going to start the slide of apathy. And like I've said on social media, when you lose the casual fans, okay, that's one thing. If you lose your fervent fans, yeah, you're in trouble. And when that happens, there's going to be a lot of people that, if they don't care, who's gonna go to the games? Who's gonna buy the merch? Who's gonna pay for the salaries of the players? I mean, yes, you can probably still float that for a while with Arthur Blank being your owner, but yeah, I think you start getting into the malaise that Atlanta sports is, and it's a very dangerous territory because yeah, there are a lot of people that, okay, it gets a little bit bandwagony when maybe the Hawks do well a little bit, but, Falcons as well. It's a thing, though. They know that it's pretty much mediocre or worse, and there's no real high ceiling with those clubs. We're on that with the majority of the years that we have been a club. And yeah, it's not like the Braves where there's this, massive history, and yeah, there's winning interspersed between all of that. But yeah, it's the worst start in LA United history. I mean, 10-game stretch, it has not gotten worse than this. Not COVID, not in 2020, not in 2021. I mean, not last year. Yeah, it's just, we will talk about this match, but yeah, it is, it's just painful to even think about any of that. But how about your thoughts on this match, Michael?
Yeah, I know you said we're not going to really dwell on it, but we're gonna fucking dwell on it. And I apologize for the profanity coming out of me this episode. So if you have the little ones, I know I already said one of them, but like there's more coming. So maybe earmuffs right now. But yeah, it's not fucking good enough. You lose 3-0 to your rival. We got beat 2-0 against our regional rival in Charlotte earlier this season. We got manhandled by Philadelphia. You got crushed and folded like a lawn chair by Orlando. And next week, it looks like Nashville is coming to town. And if they do at least half of what they did to the team they played last week, we're going to get crushed again against another geographically, a regional rival. Like, these types of results are wildly unacceptable. And the point is, not only did you lose, lost by a lot, you got played off the pitch. At least, for this game, outside the first 42 minutes, you got played off the pitch. Penalty kick happens, heads go down, predictably, effort drops. And that's the thing. That's the thing you want to see. The response you need in a rivalry match is to get heated up, fired up when you get punched in the face instead of going down. That's what you expect in a type of match, a heated rivalry match like that. Now, here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen, friends and comrades. Thing is, these players on our team, they don't have the history outside of Brad Guzan and Miguel Almiron, obviously, but, for the last, 5 or so years, he hasn't been here. The other guy, the other 10s that were here, they didn't have that history against Orlando. None of the new players have, obviously. Like, they don't have that taste in their mouth from 2017, 18, 19. They don't have that. And so, to them, Orlando, just another team in MLS. Who cares? It's not that big of a deal. They don't get up for it like the fans do. So, my, suggestion to them is to get off your ass and to put in a hell of a big effort to at least show the fans you're fighting against in a lot of cases, hated rival in your league. It goes beyond my credulity or my sympathies to allow this to go without, kind of a bit of a scolding. Like, it's a little ridiculous that you've come to this point where two guys on the internet are now yelling at you about this. Like, this is just obvious. At least put in some effort, like going up against a rival. It's ridiculous and, like very aptly AJ said, embarrassing. It's completely unacceptable.
Yeah. And, you're angry because you care, and that is the main crux of it. But, yeah, there's a lot of fans that have checked out, and I don't blame them, but it is the danger. And yeah, I mean, as far as kind of just rifling through this game, because yeah, you have the penalty, you have the just the heads drop. I mean, the lineup going into the match also isn't the greatest in the sense that it's not first choice by any means. Jamal Tiare up top, and it's his first start in place of Emmanuel Atl, who of course with yellow card accumulation was suspended for this game. The center back pairing of Luis Abram and Noah Cobb, it's not exactly I would say just adds warm fuzzies of, okay, yeah, we're going to be very secure in defense.
Wouldn't have mattered. Wouldn't have mattered, even if we had the ideal 11 with the way this mentality is for this team. Wouldn't have mattered at all.
Right, and it really is that. I mean, as far as the lineup goes, those are excuses. That's basically anyone that comes in should at least have that fighting mentality. Play your heart out, and that they didn't. It was just capitulation after capitulation. It looked okay at some spurts. That's kind of the MO of this team so far this season, is that, you have some moments that basically seep in that, okay, yeah, this team isn't as bad as the results are, but that's really where the problem is that we know that there's a lot of talent in this team. They just haven't shown it really much for 90 minutes consistently at all. And like if you play in Atl United colors, like that's the baseline. That's the non-negotiable. That's what you at least have to do. And yeah, it's very much clear that even like it's a little bit of this. It's the players that are homegrowns as well. They're putting in I think a good bit of effort that it starts to kind of make you question the players that are on big wages or on big transfer fees, and it's like, okay, you guys have to show us really something to earn your place beyond your transfer fee and salary, because I think these homegrowns, even with their faults, are probably going to usurp them very soon. And I don't think it's because of, they have talent, but it's a matter of like, you can't even do the non-negotiables. So yeah, it's and we'll get into what some of the pundits said, but just as far as this match, it's where the very silly plays that I can't even justify. And also Braguzan, you have to just die for the photo, really. Like, if it's remotely close to you, you just go for it. Even if it's past you, just go for it. I think there's a thing about Braguzan that his people were thinking, okay, he's very old, he's past it, his reflexes are slow or something. I don't really think it's exactly that. Like, he was unsighted for at least one of the goals. And it's one of these things where, if you can't get to it still, just dive. Just dive, my man. And, it will at least, will show that, okay, it's not something that's, it's like, if it's at your near post, like, also, one, you can't get beat there, but if you do, dive for it. But anyway,
it's an expression of effort. Not to say Brad doesn't give effort, because we know he does. He's one of the few that definitely does all the time.
Right.
But it just shows, like, how we said at the end of last season in the pro season, Brad was commanding from the back with what he did when he sent the ball out. It was like he was giving orders by the way he was playing. The way you get the orders he's giving out by his body language there is capitulation.
Yeah. And it's a not only capitulation, but it's also like, oh, you guys are letting me down, and I can't do anything about it, that type of thing. It's like, no, it's just the wrong body language, just like how everybody gets on Alexei Miranchuk, and the languidness of his body language. It's all of that. And I think it is something that this team needs to work on as well, is body language to each other. It absolutely matters. Like it.
Yeah, let's talk about that for a second, because I think that this body language thing is actually really important. We haven't seen a very positive example of body language, at least in my recollection. Correct me if you can think of something. I like at least one that was so impactful since when Jan De Silva missed that sitter and Yorgos came over and really supported him, like, physically. Like, that was great. That's a team spirit type of thing. I really appreciated that. I feel like I don't see that anymore. Like, when someone gives up like a penalty, like that's dumb or something like that, like I don't see them circling the wagons or something. Like, it's all just like, okay, whatever, moving on. Like, I guess he made a mistake. I don't even want to look at him or talk to him. And then, you know, whatever. It's maybe it's happening and I'm just missing it, but I would rather me see more examples of like how Yorgos took Xande from like around the shoulder to comfort him after that, you know?
Yeah, it's the taking someone under your wing. It's the outward shows of camaraderie. It's basically being overt about it. But I think the difficulty is one of the things that I'll just get to it because basically Dax McCarty and Bradley Wright Phillips on the MLS on air, kind of post-match shows, they were pretty much calling out the Atlanta United players. And Dax McCarty, obviously, having been in the squad last season, called out Bartosz Slisz, Stian Gregerson, and Miguel Almiron, who obviously just joined this season, but or rejoined. But it is one of those things where he's calling out the lack of leadership, the lack of mentality to basically, kind of right these wrongs, to pretty much fight past any of the obstacles. And it's really the players that are international team players, they should have that at least within their locker to do this type of thing, to be one of those outfield players that are really talking to their teammates, to their younger teammates, to even older teammates, to make sure that heads do not drop and do not go complacent, that they're always locked in, and that they fight for each other instead of fight each other on the pitch. Because I think we're seeing more of that than the actual former. But yeah, I mean, I realize we haven't really talked about the match as much in depth.
Whatever, man.
But I don't think it's really that important. Like the very fact of it is that even the coach, Ronnie Dyla, said after the match, and it was in the Turbulence, the Rooted in the Stripes, episode 3, he said, just forget this match. He said, fuck it. Like, we're a better team than this. And just completely forget it. And just move on to the next match. We'll get into a little bit more of what he said, but I think that's very telling. Is that, I mean, even Ronnie Dyla, he didn't give them the hairdryer treatment. He, in a way, empathized that, hey, like, whatever you guys are doing right now, it ain't it. And we're gonna completely change it. And so hopefully they do, but like at this point, if any of the patterns that you see in this match show up in subsequent matches, like I'm saying, the apathy is only gonna grow, and it's just gonna be, I think, bad times, bad vibes, and frankly, it's We'll get into the Rooted in the Stripes video. We will get into that very shortly. I'm alluding to way more things than I probably am trying to, but I think the wrap up of this match is that this can't happen again, and let's just move on to the Nashville match, and hopefully the vibes in training are just better than what was going on match day. But final thoughts on this match?
Can't lose to Orlando in this way. If you lose to Orlando, make it a fight. There's no fight in this game. Like I said, first 42 minutes, you came to try and fight. You get punched in the face. Things don't go your way. All of a sudden, oh, I guess it's over. Oh well, I guess we'll get him next time. That's not how I want this team. That's not how anyone wants their team to behave. It's ridiculous. Like, I guess the game should have been over 42 minutes.
I mean,
it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's I guess the game might as well be over minute 1 because it's just it doesn't seem like really after they step on the pitch, like it seems like they check out. Like we didn't have a shot on goal.
You should get more angry when they score on you. You should play harder. Hit someone. Do something.
Yeah, like Noah Kopp
You should not have 0 shots on target. It should go from maybe having 0 shots on target to, oh, they scored on us. Let's turn it up, and now we're shooting at least on target. Like, and maybe bring one back, give them a black eye, and then we can at least say, blows were exchanged instead of just getting the beating of your life. Like, it's just ridiculous. Yeah, like I said.
It's clearly it's not good enough, and I mean when Mike is yelling, essentially, I mean to a degree, it's you guys know. You guys should know. But, so Nashville SC this Saturday afternoon, and we'll have that match preview later on for you in this episode. But let's get into the news. And, it's just going to be grim kind of reading here. But, Atlanta United have gone a whole calendar month without scoring from open play. And the last time we did so was March 29 on the 4-3 win over NYCFC. So, I don't even know if I need to say anything else there because that's been a whole month of just anemic open play. But
Yep.
Yeah. But Doug Roberson, he tweeted out that Dallas said after the match that this is bottom for Atl United. He takes responsibility. He said players are too serious. He wants them to play with joy. And I mean, I think there is a level of that yes, I hope that does happen. It is very tough to do so. I completely empathize there that, when things are going wrong, they have to pretty much find some sort of psychological way to reverse it in their minds. But I also think maybe there should be a team therapist. Maybe, kind of like I think how a lot of big clubs have it. But, obviously, of course, made famous to a degree in Ted Lasso, where, let's get these minds right on these players, because it seems like there's some soft mentalities, and got to work through some of those anxieties, some of those moments where you're in front of goal, and you got to be able to put the ball on goal. Otherwise, it's just going to be harder and harder and harder. But any thoughts on, Dila's comments there?
On Dila's comments, I mean, I thought it was a little funny. He said, should bring some more like happiness and joy or whatever. It's like, bro, you just shipped out. I mean, not him in particular, but you just shipped out the class clown, Xande Silva. So I feel like as like a cultural guy, I feel like that guy perhaps brought some, joviality to the team, but I guess, I don't know. They want to be, they're too serious now, I guess, which is, honestly, I didn't think that was going to be the case. I thought they might be taking things a little too, not serious, it seemed to me. But then again, I'm not in the locker room. I don't know the players personally, so maybe that is what it is. They are too serious. Maybe during the game they're too serious, but outside of the game they're more kind of having fun and things like that. So I don't know, but I thought it was a little funny that it's like, oh, you guys are too serious, but it's like you just sent out the guy who people were accusing of not being serious enough.
Right. I mean, to a degree, Dila, he makes his selections, but there is the aspect of we don't know for sure who made the call, obviously there is, I think it comes down to probably, Chris Henderson first and foremost, that he saw the opportunity to open up some cap space, some roster space. And yeah, it probably was a collective of Lagerwey, Henderson, and Dyla kind of speaking together.
And I'm not saying we should have kept Jean. I mean, like, what was it, like however many goals in like however many appearances? It wasn't good enough.
It definitely wasn't
winger,
good enough.
for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
4 goals essentially in the 2 years, in MLS play. Obviously, I think, a few more goals in the playoffs. But, yeah, it's just really wasn't good enough, especially from a position that you need a lot more goals from. Like left wing, that's where you really stash, a goal scorer. And, you can maybe deal with a lack of maybe defensive prowess or awareness if you can, just have more goals. But it just really wasn't the case. But like I mentioned, Dax McCarty and BWP talked about the mentality and the need for more leadership, and I think that's the main thing. Is that McCarty was in that locker room and he knows that. I mean, it was just beyond Brad Guzan, who's not an outfield player. It's really difficult to rally everybody after every single bits of adversity when he's just the furthest player away from everybody. And then if no one else is vocal enough, I mean, yeah, you're really gonna kind of be pushing beyond it. And I think really, maybe the calls for Brad Guzan to move on in that sense, I can kind of understand from a leadership standpoint, because if your captain is your goalkeeper, it's really difficult, extremely difficult from some points of end that you just, how do you motivate everybody? Like, and also to talk to the ref, like, yeah, he comes over and he chats with them, but it's like, yeah, it's just, there's a difference when you have a center back, have a midfielder that can just easily, hop over to either a player, to the ref, whichever, or relay messages from, the head coach, the coaching staff. Like, it's just, there's a difference for sure. But yeah, let's get into the Rooted in the Stripes Turbulence episode 3. And I think the notable things are Noah Cobb saying at the near the end of it is definitely should watch it. But he says, I've been a fan of this club since I was 13. I love this club. And he also said this is the biggest club in MLS. And it's that. I mean, it's like he's a homegrown. He knows what it means to play for this badge. And yeah, he was saying this in the press conference, and it's just like, yeah, like he gets it. And I think once he gets more experience, I think he will be someone that can lead the team in a lot of different ways. I think from a spiritual standpoint as well. But Dyla, he also mentioned at the end of it as well that next week this will be a completely different team, and of course we're better than this. And he did mention the forget the fear of losing, which, I mean, yeah, like I mentioned at the top, is this rock bottom? I mean, yeah, might be. And at the very least, if you hit rock bottom, well, you have nothing to lose, right? So just play without any sort of restrictions and just play free, right? I mean, I don't know. What are your thoughts, Michael?
Just, I don't know, score some goals. That's really what I would like to see. Just some goals from the run of play. That would be really great. So, yeah. But I want to comment on Noah Cobb stuff. I mean, he's like, striking out a bit as a leader of his own, saying these types of things. It strikes me as a little, uncomfortable seeing Noah Cobb having to come out and speak to the press and saying these things that you expect senior level players to be doing. Where are the other players coming out and saying these things or trying to get the narrative back on their side, right? It's like, let's turn this ship around, right? But no, it's Noah Cobb putting it on his back. I give him a lot of credit for that, instead of some of the other guys, I guess, who are just mad, frustrated, what have you, just bottle up and go home, or whatever it is. Don't talk to the press or whatever. Like that sucks. I'd like to see more accountability from the guys, the more senior level players to come out and try and take ownership, prove that they want to really change things, and get the guys behind them, someone who can be a leader. And I'm not really seeing it, and that really is poignant right now. Like, we are seeing a lack of leadership in this team, and a lot of the issues that we have follow from that.
Yeah, agreed. This is beyond a talent thing. This is 100% a cultural thing, a mentality thing, a leadership thing. And I think that what's interesting about the Turbulence episode is how it starts with, let's be real. There's people that pay attention to some of the stuff that's written out there, and I don't know. It feels like a little bit of a reaction that that article that Michael wrote on our Patreon.
I'm not gonna say, I'm not gonna put a tinfoil hat on or anything, but I will say it's an interesting coincidence. I drop an article about there's broken culture in this club and that needs to be rectified, and then what seems to be a quickly put together video that didn't seem to have that much of a narrative point to it, like kind of grasped at a concept of, well, actually, what this club does have? Let's talk about the culture that we have here with the support staff and things like that, kind of as a bonding agent for the team, bringing the players together over food and things of this sort, which is a true thing, is a very good way to bring people together. But whatever the hell it is, it's not working. And I don't appreciate putting out a fluff piece about it. Like, no animosity towards the people who make these videos, because we do love them.
It was very well done.
One of them.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just this one in particular seems a little, forced, and it seems to be in a response to the narrative out there right now, or at least I perceive it to be, in the zeitgeist of Atlanta United, that says there's a cultural issue, and all of a sudden this comes around saying, oh, look at our wonderful culture on the inside. It seems weird to me, but that's just me.
Yeah, and we very well could be wrong, and they have been making this, at least cutting it for a couple weeks now or something, and they set out, to speak with, the head chef of Atl Utd, who, has been there since day one, opened up the whole training grounds with the club, so that angle is interesting.
Yes.
But I think it is something to the effect, though, that, coincidental. It seems pretty coincidental. So, there are some things about it that make you kind of scratch your head a little bit. But
outside of that, it is still interesting, like AJ said, with like meeting the different personalities behind the scenes and things like that. Yeah. So, the support staff and at the cafeteria in particular, it's cool. I was catching myself smiling during it. I was like, man, it's like this is good vibes. But ultimately, and you know what? It's just like I put this at the end of the article too that I wrote. Is you can have world-class facilities with wonderful staff, and you're still gonna have this type of cultural problem if you don't fix some of the stuff that I talked about in the article, right? So, and look, they're showing it. They're showing proof in the pudding. Like, they have world-class staff. They have wonderful human beings supporting them in their day-to-day at the club, at the training ground. And yet, the results do not come. So, it just sucks,
Yeah. You wish that, 1 + 1 = 2. But, unfortunately in sports, that's not always the case. But yeah, so next bit, Tom Boger, he reported that Atlanta United offered a pro contract to Academy standout and U.S. Youth National Team goalkeeper James Donaldson. He's 15, but yeah, deal will start with the second team and have a homegrown future. And considering his options, though, Donaldson, he has a UK passport, so he can go to Europe. So yeah, there is an offer for Donaldson from Atl United, and yeah, the very fact that, you know, teenager goalkeeper is already maybe possibly angling towards Europe speaks to his talent. So yeah, definitely very, very interesting there. Yeah, and
from what I heard, he's the real deal, and it would be, I don't expect him to play for the first team at any point, unfortunately for us. So, but yeah, he seems like he's got a really promising career ahead of him.
Yeah, I think that's where, at least for Atl United, if we can secure his services to a degree and at least get a transfer fee for him, then great. That's how we can at least, you know, at least we do, like, clubs do get paid, you know, some sort of fee to an effect from, you know, the bringing up through their academy, but it is, yeah, a pittance in terms of, like, you know, what you can get on the open market essentially. But yeah, let's move to Atlanta United 2, and they played a scoreless draw at FC Cincy, and the penalty shootout decided the extra point, and yeah, it was Santiago Pita's first professional appearance as Atlanta United. They earned their first point, or clean sheet rather, in the MLS Pro next season, or next pro season. But yeah, that is the news, and it gets us to the mailbag, and you guys send in these questions through IG story and Discord. Please continue to do so. We might answer your questions in the future. But first question comes from Nick in the ATL, our highest Patreon member, so he gets priority. Yes, he asks, if we continue down this path we are on, will the FO keep ticket prices where they are, or will they be tone deaf and stupid?
I honestly don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if there is a meager increase over next year. I wouldn't be surprised about it. I hope not, but I wouldn't be surprised if there was a meager increase. Yeah,
I mean, the way inflation is going with everything, and, you know, the economy, we won't get into all that, but yeah, you know, it's like rent. It's always going to go up. So, you know, unless you have some way to make the club pretty much realize that's a bad idea, and you're going to lose even more fans, which, okay, we tried that last year. It didn't really take that much, but, you know, we got some concessions. You know, we got some things that's, okay, helped a little bit to a degree, but, yeah, I mean, I think we have to push even harder to make sure that, you know, this club makes sure that they are not tone deaf and they don't do something stupid, because, yeah, it's not a good idea. Like, even though I said what I just said, you know, death, taxes, and, you know, prices going up for clubs, but it's not a good idea at all. Like, they should really consider.
I agree, and to a degree, like, I expect, like I said, I would expect a meager increase, but if it's anything more than that, if it's like a significant increase, like it kind of has been over the last several years, like, that's unacceptable. That's wildly unacceptable, especially if we do poorly this season. If we don't make the playoffs, I mean, forget about it. And I gotta feel like the people who did season tickets, and they thought about not.
All right, so yes, yeah, we unfortunately had a little bit of an intermission there, and yeah, it was getting late. We had some technical issues or technical difficulties. So yes, we are now joined by the newest newborn with the Weisses, and adorable. Adorable. But yeah, if you hear some baby sounds, if you're not watching it on the video podcast, then yes, it is because Michael has now, he is carrying the baby in his hand or in his arms.
Yes, I am with child, as they say.
With child, yes. So, yep, duties do call. And so either way, let's move on to the next question. But yeah, next question comes from Ethan, Atl Utd 17s. I'm at the point where I really don't see a way forward. It seems like everything that could be done to make massive changes in this club has been done. 4 new DPs, chuck, in a 6-month span. New coach, new technical director, etc. Basically, everything has been retooled, and yet we continue to fall to new depths. Do you see a pathway forward to fixing the underlying issues?
Yeah, I think so. To be optimistic for a moment, I did highlight in my article that the issues that we're facing, I believe, structurally, come from a lack of a super culture at this club. There's no buy-in for new players when they come in here, in terms of like a culture or like identity of what Atlanta United is. So they create one, right? When they don't have one to glom onto, and when that happens, you perpetuate a subculture of different things instead of one whole idea. And man, I can't think right now about what I'm trying to say.
It's difficult. I'll cut in here. But yeah, because he's the baby is you gotta protect the head, and it's like you gotta like shake him. So it's total. I get it.
I'm trying to think. It's like I'm trying to remember what I wrote, but basically the optimism comes from that a cultural issue can be fixed. It's just it requires identifying that that's what the problem is, which I don't think we have done up until now. At least, hopefully, it's been identified. I believe it probably is, but I can't confirm that. But I believe that once they identify it, they can fix it. And they've eliminated, and Garth seems to be a very meticulous person. They've eliminated everything else, right? All the variables that could possibly be, like Ethan listed. So what's left? You eliminate everything else. The only thing that remains, no matter how impossible, must be the truth, is what Sherlock Holmes says, right? So that's what I believe to be the issue. And if they identify that and they fix it, now fixing that is a whole nother thing, because it has to deal with human psychology and, subgroups and cliques and things like that within a team dynamic. And that can be difficult, especially because these groups have been here for years. Ronnie Dialog just got here. Is he even capable of setting up a culture, in place of not having one? Can Garth Lagerway and Chris Henderson, can they top down set up some kind of culture that everyone can kind of identify very clearly that this is Atlanta United? Because I don't think we've really had that. Yeah, we had the, the beating of our chest and we're the kings of the South kind of stuff from the past and, all that. But once that goes away, what are we?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think that's an important thing. The Kings of the South bit is that we are not the Kings of the South. We are far from that at the moment, and the cultural bit of that is that we have to reset the mind frame in which we're trying to operate. Like, we were the underdogs against Inter Miami, and it really is. It's like like I mentioned in the post-match live streams. That it is something that we probably need to embrace that more. And we always will spend money, but there is something to the degree of maybe playing a little bit more homegrowns, maybe building out from the academy a little bit more, trying something that is a little bit more organic. And we all want to be because we have the capability of spending whatever we want to be the New York Yankees of MLS, but it has been very abundantly clear that it is not working. It has been pretty much over half a decade that proof is in the pudding. It ain't happening that way, and you can get some players here and there in that maybe will really move the needle. But I think there's a lot of cases where we've seen that we're bringing in middling players on very high wages, at least for MLS, and it's just not doing the trick. So there's a bit of that. It's a cultural reset, like you're saying, and whether you're an Arsenal fan or not, it doesn't matter. But the way Mikel Arteta, he was able to reset the very toxic nature of what was going on at Arsenal, and pretty much, kind of flip it on its head to, they did similar things in which, we had the Atl Utd pup. They brought in a dog named that they called Win, so that they would pretty much kind of show that, hey, like, not only the vibes but the mentality. Like, what are they trying to achieve? They are trying to win, and that whole thing, like, they're pretty much Arteta did do a top-down kind of reset where the players that, if you're not fully bought in, even if you're like, basically, yeah, if you're not 100% in, you're out. And he made a hard stance on that. Like, it was players that had been with the club for a long time, some of the biggest names in the sport, like Mesut Ozil, and froze them out. Also, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, who was the captain at the time, and he wasn't, pretty much being the exemplary captain, he also got frozen out. It's things like that where you have to have someone that has the balls to make the moves that need to happen, and that comes from the top down. And I mean, really, what it is, I'm not trying to call out Arthur Blank that that he doesn't do what is necessary, but there is a loyalty aspect that he does harp on, and I think it's part of it. Like, if you're trying to win at all costs, within a humanistic way, of course, like, you kind of have to make the hard decisions sometimes, and that's kind of part of it. Carlos Bocanegra, that should have happened way, way earlier. So anyway,
just one last thing I want to say about that is, you said the Arsenal brought in coach, changed things drastically. I cited in my article, like, this is something that also some corporate entities do, is they do something called like a cultural hire. Like, you bring in someone who can either instill a culture that they want to have in the office place, or like supplement one that's very weak already that exists there. And bringing in a high level coach or like a player that just has a absolute magnetism about them, that everyone knows who they are, and it's basically like he can bring his own culture to the club, that can be a fix. Albeit it could be also only a temporary one. Just look at Miami with Messi. Once he leaves, all of that personality, all of that club culture is gonna go with him, unless they can find a way to perpetuate that. Like, that's gonna be a temporary cultural thing that's happening there. So maybe in the short run we can find something like that, but if we can find a long-term manager that can really change things around and build a culture that can be lasting and sustainable here, unless we can do that, we're going to be having a lot of issues. I think, like, the issues are going to continue.
Yeah, indeed. Next question comes from Golly We Suck. If Ronnie doesn't change his tactics and we keep losing, will he be sacked? 1 second, my screen went black. I sure hope so, but Garth could say different. On top of this, why won't Ronnie change his tactics? It's obviously not working.
This is a tricky question. This is Garth's first coaching hire. So with that in mind, I feel like he'll be far less likely to pull the trigger quickly. I think he'd give himself more time in his, based on what he thinks his sound judgment is. If he just immediately is like, well, my first attempt was a complete failure, immediately pulling the plug, I feel like that doesn't bode well in terms of like visibility and like how everyone kind of sees him and how he's doing. So perhaps you would want to give it a little bit more time. And we all know he gave Bocanegra and Pineda plenty of way more than they should have time for things. So I mean, it seems like he has a history of a long leash, and considering it's his first hire, I feel like he'll give it more time. But I mean, at a certain point, Arthur Blank's someone up there is gonna say, listen, enough is enough. You got to make a change. And only one, if there's a sacrificial lamb, it's usually the coach.
Indeed, yeah, and that's the thing. If he does keep losing, probably is going to trend towards that. If Garth, is a little bit more patient, I mean, I can see that. Obviously, like Michael was saying, there is that history. I don't think he really will probably stick with his tactics, so hard and fast now. I think there does have to be some real change, and I think he realizes that because, he said it'll be a completely different look to the team in terms of probably what he meant mentality for this week, but that could also involve some players that maybe usually are part of the 11 that are not part of the 11, and basically players that show more fight, that are playing for the badge, like we are harping on. But yes, it is obviously not working. And yeah, I mean, a lot of the other questions are very similar to this. I'll read them out, and it's kind of some reiteration. But P. Magnus will we finally find our identity? It's the coach stubborn, or is the locker room such a mess? We kind of already addressed a little bit of that. Santi Ruiz 423. Why are our players sucking so much? I don't even think it's our coach, it's our players. That's an interesting question. We'll get to that in a second. But yes, Jay Walleroy, why do we suck so badly? Patty Ice _14. Is there a disconnect between the players and the city that is causing complacency? And the Sebastian Asardoti, or Sebastian A. Asardoti. What is happening with the team? We have the most expensive attack, and I think
Let me take one of those questions.
Yeah. Go ahead.
The one about is there a disconnect between the culture of the city and the team? I mean, I would like to know, just out of curiosity, if Alexei Miranchuk has ever listened to another ATL rap artist since he got here, or was it just something he played up for when he got here? But that's just a curiosity that I have. It's perfectly fine if you don't listen to rap, or you don't want to participate in the Atlanta culture for the most part, as long as honestly, if you're honest about it. But like when you come out and you're like, yeah, I love, I came here partially at least because of the culture here, and I love the music, and then there's no evidence of that. I guess it just seems weird to me to put that foot forward. And going to the other players, I know I called out Alexi in particular, but like, I have no idea what those players are doing in terms of the community and the city. But I expect that they're probably integrating in some way and, hanging out and doing things here. So I wouldn't take that away from them. But if their question is, could they be doing more? Probably.
Yeah, I mean, I think there are some, it's usually the homegrowns or some of the younger players or players that are maybe injured that do some of the kind of community building things kind of in between weeks. So there is a bit of that. There is, I think, other examples of it that, I can't really maybe name off the top of my head right now. But as far as, it adding to a complacency, well, I think it's a bit of a chicken and egg thing too. You start off a season and it's not great. If they're showing up a lot of places, they're probably not going to be really that well received by more casual fans per se. I think the fervent fans are always going to be at least cordial and probably asking for photos and all that type of stuff. But yeah, I mean, I think you see Miggy and Ronald Hernandez showing up at Hawks games. You see some, Stan Gregerson as well, ingratiating himself at some events. Brad Guzan as well. I think there's parts of it that are they are in the community, but yeah, I mean, I think it's always, can there be more? Probably. Can there be a little bit more connection between the players and the fans? I think absolutely. There's a real, I think, void that's really is apparent right now between not only the players but club and the fans, because there's something about it that obviously with the form is one thing, but yeah, it's I think when it's push come to shove, like if it's Braves, if it's Falcons, if it's Atlanta United, people are gonna choose. And you want to be that intangible club, that intangible team that's like, yeah, oh man, like if I'm going to choose between those games, I'm going to choose Atlanta United. Like that's what you want to be, But anyway, last question comes from Gusta Maruki. Why, when they score against us, it looks too easy? Yeah, I mean,
we give up soft goals all the time. It's like something we do, and it's very frustrating. We've done it for a long time, like season after season. It's like every game we give up a soft goal, and that usually is the blow that drops the heads, and the mentality fades after that. It's frustrating.
Yeah, it's a bit of that. It's a bit of we've. I mean, not to give excuses, but it is reasons. When you have a makeshift defense and they basically don't play in, week out with the same team, it's kind of tough. It's really kind of tough to build that continuity. And we've also had very large swaths of seasons where our midfield isn't good enough, and I mean, it's still not good enough, clearly. Where defense isn't shielded, and on top of that, I don't think we press as a team very well. And when you can't get the ball off of the defenders that you're playing against, it makes slicing through the lines a lot easier. So yeah, there's a lot of that. But anyway, so that does it for the mailbag and gets us to the match preview. And 2:45 p.m. on Saturday, it will be Nashville at the Benz. And Nashville 6th place with a 6+ goal difference. They last played to a 7-2 win versus the Chicago Fire. And we last played them to a 2-0 loss on September 15th in 2024. So yeah, that last 6 against them, 1 win for us, 2 draws, and 3 losses to Nashville. But they're a team that last year wasn't really that great. It was defensively a bit suspect, which is weird when they're very much a more defensively orientated team. They would kind of hit teams on the counter a little bit more, but They did a lot of changes this offseason. Annabelle Godoy, Sean Davis, Randall Leal, Lucas McNaughton, Shaq Moore all moved on. They brought in Brian Acosta, Gaston Brugman, Jason Palacios, Andy Nahar, Ahmad Kaisem, Edvard Tagseth. And also, basically this season, their striker, Sam Surridge, has 6 goals and 1 assist. Hani Mukhtar, former MVP, has 4 goals, 2 assists. So, they're cooking relatively for kind of what they were last year, which, unfortunately, they were 13th in the Eastern Conference, 36 points. But, BJ Callahan has them playing a lot better. Really, I think, subverting the expectations and predictions from pundits this this offseason, where they had them finishing as low as 13th and as high as 8th, but averaging pretty much about 12th place. So, yeah, definitely exceeding expectations. They're definitely, as far as clinical, they are that. Set pieces, as far as, creating long shot opportunities as well. Yeah, Braguzan, don't actually shield your eyes. Please try to stop them. As far as, just creating chances, they are very good at it this season. And, not a great team at protecting the lead, but, as far as a team that creates from their skill, it is definitely that type of team. And, according to the match facts on whoscored.com, there have been over 2.5 goals scored in Nashville's last 7 games. Scoring 7 goals in a game will do that. But Atl United have been losing at both halftime and full-time in their last 3 matches. That's grim reading. And Atl United have failed to score in their last 3 matches. It's just... whoo, boy. But, the match forecast says that Nashville will score as a result of an opposition error. Very likely. That checks out. Nashville will score as a result of individual skill. Probably will be likely. Atl United will make a comeback if they go behind. That will be interesting. That hasn't been happening lately, but let's see if that will be the case. But the odds somehow have us at 47.6% chances of winning, a draw at 29.4%, and an away win for Nashville at 29.4%. That's wild. I mean, I guess we're due. I don't know how you...
They very much favor home field advantage in MLS.
They do, yes. And, while we are at home, it has hardly been a fortress lately. And so... hopefully so, though. But, yes, unavailable players. Derek Williams likely still out, but we will see. Stian Gregerson, he will be out at least 2 more weeks. Muyumba with his adductor, at least 2 more weeks as well. So we are here. Predicted starting 11. So, Braguzan between the sticks. Fullbacks. Are you going to change anything?
No, I'm going to go with the exact same lineup, except for the addition of Emmanuel Latela.
Okay. Interesting. So, Fortune for me, though, I think will start. I think Cobb and Abram, obviously, with both center backs out, that's who you have to go with. Lennon Amador as the fullbacks. I have Fortune as the... I think you need his athleticism. I think you need as well. Where Dax McCarty, he said that Fortune was the best midfielder last season, and the fact is that we didn't. He hasn't really started this season. I mean, I think Fortune should probably be the guy that kind of changes the effort a little bit too. So him in place of Schleich, I think. Click next to him instead. Otherwise, yes, Latte Lat up top, Saba, Moranchuk, and Almiron. I mean, I would like to see maybe Moranchuk at the 8. Maybe
it'd be nice. Not gonna happen.
Not gonna happen. But and because it's like you also don't have a really big winger core, really. So if you play Edwin Mosquera, well then after that, what do you got? You got Luke Brennan, who did come on last match, but other than that, you're kind of bereft of some options here. But and I guess you could play Fortune on the left like he did play in one of the matches, but I don't know. He played pretty all right, but it was not something that you want to continually see, especially if he's going to be starting. So it's gonna a lot of energy levels that he's probably not used to. A lot of different types of muscles and all that he may not usually be using either. But yeah, let's get into our score prediction then. Michael, what do you got?
I have 3-1 Nashville winning because I don't see a way out of this right now. I think they come into the Benz, they do their business, and I still think we're searching for answers. However, I think we score a penalty kick or something like that. Maybe a set ball, you got a dead ball kind of play. Like maybe Emmanuel Latilado off of a corner. But I still think our run-up play goal scoring is still going to be in its drought stage.
I'm a little bit more bullish. I think we're due. I think with basically the full strength attack at home, I think we can muster a 2-2 draw. And hopefully, it's way roads upward. So, hopefully that is the case. What do you guys think? Let us know in the comments below. But that pretty much does it for the episode, except for the question of the day. And the question of the day is, are you at a breaking point? Or where are you, on your temperature? Let us know in the comments below. Looking forward to what you have to say. But guys, that is the episode there and there. Remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. For Michael with Child, I am AJ, and we will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.